rain fell this week, bringing a moment's relief from the hot weather. We've passed midsummer, and one by one, the flowers of the gentle giants are falling to the ground. Change is coming. There are signs everywhere I look that in the near future there will be a great harvest. As nature has taught me, producing a harvest requires nurturing, time and patience. Nothing is instant, but perhaps as a result of waiting and nurturing, the fruit is sweeter. I've just returned from my afternoon walk, Wonder Weavers. I've been admiring all of the fruit trees of my neighborhood. Some trees are just so heavy with fruit. There's going to be a beautiful harvest this year. And seeing and admiring all of this fruit made me think of all of my favorite desserts. What is your favorite dessert, Wonder Weavers? I'd love you to share. Do you love desserts like apple turnovers, apple pies, danishes? I'd love you to share with me in the description below. Thinking of food, I'm really looking forward to working in the kitchen of the Enchanted Cottage and also the dollhouse. I left the kitchen of the dollhouse until last because I wanted time to build my skills. Of all of the rooms, the kitchen was the one that I was most anxious about. So I'm looking forward to moving into that room. So this week I've been working on the dining room of the Enchanted Cottage, and I can't wait to show you my progress, Wonder Weavers. I've also been playing with paper theatres. I did a lovely online tutorial by Elly Mackay, who is a visual artist and author. Her work is beautiful. I highly recommend that you check out her Instagram account if you haven't already. And I've put a link to her tutorial in the description below if you're interested in paper theatres and you'd like to have a play. In any case, Wonder Weavers, I'd love to hear from you. How are you going? How are your projects? How are you finding the new year so far? I'd love you to share. Now let's get to it. Let's make a dining room. Work moves downstairs this week to the room next to the kitchen that I intend to turn into a dining room. Inspired by the final result of the sitting room, I've decided to also include plants into this one. And the first thing I do is create a mini espalier. Espaliers are a way of training woody plants to grow along flat surfaces such as walls. I've decided to create an apple tree espalier. I first build the frame. This is a very simple structure I create using matchsticks and craft sticks. Following the height of the wall, I trim the pieces to size, sand them, and then paint them with watered down acrylic paint. Once dry, I glue 2 craft sticks vertically. These will act as mini posts standing at opposite ends of the frame. Then between them, I glue matchsticks horizontally. Next I move on to making the apple tree. I follow similar steps to when I made the birch tree in my last vlog. The trunk of the tree is a dowel rod cut to size. With my awl I create 2 holes in the side of the rod for the branches. I make 2 branches from metal wire. This time I'm using floral wire. And as you can see, I've threaded the wire through one of the holes and created 2 loops, or wings as I like to think of them. Next, I twist the wire at both ends, and then bend the metal branches into shape. I have chosen to create an undulating pattern. I then cover the metal wire with shredded craft paper. Then I paint the trunk and the branches. I create a template for the leaves. This time I thought I would try cutting out a cluster of leaves in addition to individual ones. And then with a graphite pencil I trace the leaves onto green collage paper and cut them out. I glue first the cluster of leaves to the metal wire. As I place the leaves, I allow them to overlap. I also make sure that I bend the leaves before placing them on the wire. This will help to give the tree more volume. In a previous vlog I made mini golden apples as Christmas tree decorations. This time I'm going to make red apples. I grab a gala apple to help me. I first roll a small amount of polymer clay roughly into an egg shape, and with my trusty hairpin I make 2 depressions at the top and the bottom of the egg. See here, the depression at the top of the apple is quite deep. So I make sure that the top depression is deeper and a little bit wider than the bottom one. This is so I can also place and conjoin a small amount of polymer clay moulded in the form of a stalk. Next I colour the mini apples with soft pastel. For the ripened apples, I first add layers of orange and then I go over it with red pastel. For the unripened apples, I simply apply layers of green pastel. Once baked, I add the apples to the tree. Next, I set about making a rustic style mini dining room table. The dining room table is very simple. I cut a strip of balsa wood, then 4 lengths of a dowel rod for the legs of the table. After sanding and painting the parts with watered down acrylic, I assemble them, gluing them together. For the chairs, I'm going to use matchsticks, craft sticks, and balsa wood lengths. I use cut matchsticks for the chair's legs and also to help me construct the back of the chair. I cut 1.5 centimeter squares of balsa wood, and these are for the chair's seat. I then cut a craft stick into small pieces around 0.9 centimeters in length. These I will use as part of the back of the chair. I then measure the thickness of the matchsticks, which is around 3 millimeters. I then cut out 2 3 millimeter squares from 2 corners of each seat. After sanding the parts of the chairs, I paint them with watered down acrylic and then assemble them with glue. Now it is time for the finishing touches. I paint the door. And in the end, I decided to make a trellis of hanging strawberries, which so happened to be giant strawberries. We know that the elves, dwarves, and gnomes have magic to help plants grow. To decorate the door, I create imitation stained glass, using an acetate sheet, cellophane, and leftover leaves. The table is now ready for the good folk. Oh look! The cottage has its first visitor. Thank you for watching, Wonder Weavers. I greatly appreciate your support. Have a beautiful weekend. Take care, stay well, and don't forget to play. Ciao. Adios. I think the robin might be hungry. We'd better get the fire going in the kitchen and make some food.